Hi everybody, you should have watched the other two videos first that were assigned today. I just want to give you a few pointers for that they don't go into that much detail with, is that I need you to understand the difference between an inequality and an equation. So we've worked with equations, and this would be an equation, okay? An inequality is something that is not an equal sign. All right, so here's are your inequalities. You have a less than sign, a greater than sign, a less than or equal to, and a greater than or equal to. So the difference between these two and the purple, the two that are in purple, is that if you notice, you're going to see a line underneath that greater than sign or a line underneath the less than sign. That means equal to. Okay, so if you just see this, that just means greater than. So that means that x has to be greater than 8. So that means it cannot be 8. But if you have greater than or equal to, that means x can be 8. So just be careful with those two. All right, so that's about the inequalities. You're going to hear them say a lot about a solution, and they're going to ask, what's the solution? Be careful, because in elementary school, whenever you ask for a solution, it was really about what the answer is. But when they say, what's the solution, they want to know what the variable is. All right, they want to know what the variable, not that the answer is 16 over here, because they want to know what the variable is. All right, so that's what they mean by solution. All right, the last thing that I want to show you is actually in 8.8, and does it show us here? Where was it? I saw it before. Okay, so before I go into these, I'm going to show you the white screen. Okay, so there's a few things to show you. When you're graphing, I wonder if it's in 8.7. I apologize, guys. I just saw it. Maybe it's example 3. Graphing. Here
Graph G is greater than 2.
Okay, so
Use the number to the left. Test it because 2 is. Use an open circle at 2 because
this.
2 is not.
Okay, so they're going to give you questions where it's going to say G is greater than 2. So what you're going to do is you can only graph, and I need you to make sure you understand this, you can only graph if G, your variable, is alone on its side of the expression. So if it has G plus 1 is greater than 2, you cannot graph it yet. All right, you're going to have to solve it, which you're going to learn. All right, but if it has the variable alone, like it does here, then you can graph. Okay, so here's the signs that you need to know. You need to know an open circle and a closed circle. So an open circle can represent less than or greater than. Okay, a closed circle means it can be greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Okay, that's the difference. All right, so when you're looking at example 3 here and it says G is greater than 2, well, greater than is one of these signs, so that means it has to be on 2, and it's going to be an open circle. Okay, and then it's saying G has to be greater than 2. So you're going to be drawing an arrow on your number line, and since your variable's on the left, this is key. Since your variable's on the left, you can follow the arrow and where it's pointing. So the arrow is pointing to the right. So that means G can be 3, G can be 4, G can be 5. So let's try it. If G is 3, 3 is greater than 2, so it works. Okay. They're saying over here that 2 is less than G is also correct, and that's true. But I need you to be careful. If G is greater than 2 and you want to reverse it, Look what has to be reversed. Your inequality sign. So that's what you have to be careful of. Okay? So just make sure that if you're going to be switching things, that you also switch the inequality sign. Okay. All right, so I just want to show you a few, like if you're going to see this on your big ideas. So here's your number line, and it's saying A is less than 4. So is your variable on the left? Yes, so that's perfect. So that means I can look at that arrow, and it's pointing in this direction. So you're going to look here and look for an arrow going into the left. So that means this is gone, and this is gone. Okay, these are not going to work. And this is just plotting on the dots like how you were doing before with your opposites. So it looks like it's going to be only these two. So now you have to look at this sign. Remember what we said. It has to be either an open circle or a closed circle. And if you recall, the open circle is when you have the less than or the greater than sign. So that's what we're looking for. So we're looking for the open circle, and we're looking for the arrow pointing to the left. So it looks like we're going to take this. We're going to take this and we're going to drag it to 4, and it's positive 4. Let's see if it works. There we go. And then it automatically brings the arrow to the left. Okay, so we're going to do 2 more. We're going to do number 9, and the reason why I'm doing this one is because I want you to see that now it is a less than or equal than sign. So think about if we're going to have an open circle or a closed circle. So if you said we're going to have a closed circle, you are correct. Is the variable to the left? Yes, it is. So that means we can look at the arrow, and the arrow is going in this direction. So we are going to find and cross them out. So the ones that don't have the arrow is going to the left. So this one's gone, this one's gone, and it has to be a closed circle. So this is gone. So we are going to go here, and we're going to go to positive 7, which is here. And it should automatically, it went to the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Get that out of there. We want this. There we go. Okay. So that is for number 9. All right, this is the last one. And the reason why I want to do this one is because if you notice, the variable is on the other side. So we're going to do -3 is less than or equal to P. Okay. You do not have to reverse it. You can leave it just like this if you like. All right. However, you're going to have to remember if your variable is on the right, the arrow technically is really not going to the left. The arrow is going in this direction. If that's going to confuse you, switch it. All right. So that means you're going to have P here and -3 here. But if you reverse it, you have to remember to reverse it. So it's not going to say less than anymore. It's going to say greater than or equal to. Okay. And if you do that, then you can follow the arrow, and the arrow is pointing to the right. And then you have to look to see what kind of circle. Is it an open circle or a closed circle? And it's going to be a closed circle. So let's look for closed circles. So this is out, and they're going to the right. So this is out. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to -3. So I got to go to -3, and there it goes for my arrow. Okay. All right, let me know if you have any questions.